When Pam started my Beyond Migraine program with daily chronic migraine, she described feeling skeptical, hopeless, fearful, doubtful, unhappy, and defeated. But after finishing Beyond Migraine, she reported, for the first time in over 3 years, I'm feeling happy and joyful. Pam went from 12 code red migraine days that prevented her from really functioning to just one after completing the program. Beyond Migraine, if you don't know, is my small group coaching program that integrates yoga for migraine, pain reprocessing, and daily self-care habits to help you reduce your migraine symptoms by 50% in 8 weeks, guaranteed. So I'm really excited to welcome both Pam and her husband, Bob, who have graciously agreed to share their experience of Pam's journey going through Beyond Migraine. I don't get to talk to the spouses very often of the women I work with, so I'm really excited to chat with both of you. And Bob, in an email, had shared, I'm very happy to say that I'm starting to see the woman I married again. She is happier, funnier, and more joyful. So these experiences, as people improve in their migraine, it helps everybody, everyone in the family benefits. So I want to say thank you and welcome to Pam and Bob.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And Pam and Bob told me they are almost 47 years of marriage, so they know each other well. They've been through it all. And I wanted to start with Pam to first ask her, what was going on in your life when you were starting to look for migraine coaching with me?
Well, my whole life just revolved around migraine. The symptoms, the cure, what could I find to help? And it was just all consuming. And that was all I thought about. And, I know I made my husband's life miserable. And, just felt frustrated, felt sorry for myself, asked why me, all those things we do when we're suffering.
Yeah, and you were at a place where it was taking over and you had daily chronic headaches for years, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, well, moving to Bob's perspective, and seeing Pam go through Beyond Migraine over the last couple months, what changes did you observe, Bob, in Pam as she went through the program?
Well, her sense of humor, her joy, her playfulness, and her interest in hobbies returned. It wasn't overnight, but we both started talking and saying, wow, this is amazing. We're kind of like back where we were when we first got married, and it was really wonderful to see her again.
That's beautiful. And yes, we all in our groups love Pam's sense of humor, and we all can enjoy Pam and yeah, that the humor she brings. Did you feel, Bob, like you were able to do more things together? I know Pam mentioned you guys were practicing yoga together. Anything that changed just in terms of like what you guys did together?
We have a lot of hobbies in common. For example, we like jigsaw puzzles, crossword puzzles, things where we're not competing against each other. We don't like competing against each other, but we just enjoy the time together, whether we're reading the same book. But it was just, like you said, it was when the spouse or the mother is not feeling well, the whole family suffers along with that person.
Yeah. So on that note, how does it make you feel now seeing where Pam is? And we all know headaches and migraine go up and down, but what has it been like for you to see her doing better? How has that affected you?
It's been wonderful. I would say cautiously optimistic and hopeful. Pam has tried other courses. She will, if she's not in one of your classes, she's reading about things, trying to research new ways of helping herself, and it's just great to have her back. I'm hopeful again. I guess I never really lost hope, but it's to see what she's doing with your program, and it just warms my heart.
Oh, that's beautiful. And from that third party perspective, like, have you noticed Pam having less days where, that she's incapacitated? You see her overall just being able to function and do more?
Yeah, I have. They've been increasing. I'm sorry, the good days are increasing.
Yeah.
Um, as you know, bad days happen, and it defies logic sometimes. Where you say, "Well, this is what I did yesterday. This is what I ate yesterday," um, and that's frustrating not knowing a correlation. Now,
Mhm.
we're both sort of very logical and trying to solve problems. And when you go about this logically, it just doesn't work.
No.
It is very complex. Yeah. And it's with migraine, there's often not that one-to-one cause and effect. So it is a mystery. But yeah, she's been able to have more good days. And with that, it sounds like a better mood. Bob, I was curious when Pam first presented the idea of joining Beyond Migraine to you, what were your initial thoughts? Were you skeptical? Were you open? What were your first ideas when you first heard about it?
Was like, where do we sign up?
Yeah.
I mean, if there's a 50% chance, 20% chance, let's do it.
Yeah.
We have to try it.
That's great. Great to have your support. And yeah, Bob, anything else you'd like to share for anyone listening, whether it's the spouse of someone with migraine or someone with migraine, about, trying something like Beyond Migraine, something that's maybe a little different than what people have done before?
I'm just so grateful that you have this program, and then you've made yourself available to Pam, and I'm sure your other students. And it's not with my feeling is like with you, it's not one size fits all.
Yeah.
You're not running an assembly line where everybody does this, everybody does that. You are listening to Pam, you're helping Pam, and I really, really appreciate that.
Well, thank you. We appreciate you, Bob, and we're gonna let Bob say goodbye so we can chat more with Pam. But it really means a lot for you to be here, Bob, and you supporting Pam and practicing yoga with us as well.
Yes, you're welcome, and thank you.
Yeah, thank
Right.
you. See you next time. So, Pam, great to have such a supportive spouse.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Kind of going back to, when you were first deciding to join the program, like Bob said, it was just like, sign me up. But, what made you choose to work with me? What were some of the things that felt right for you?
Well, even though I felt miserable, discouraged, and whiny, and no, you know, nothing seems to be helping. I still hadn't lost hope. That's such a big thing for me. Just like there's got to be something out there, because I can't take medications. I do supplements and my devices and all of that, but it's not quite enough. I needed something else. I just had to find it, and I had hope that I would find it.
Oh, good. And so you kept trying.
Yeah.
I know you have worked with other programs, and how was working in Beyond Migraine different than maybe some of the other coaching programs you had tried before?
Well, I have more time with you. You're
Mm,
more, it's more personal. The structure that you've set up has women coming together, starting in the same spot. Okay, we're all starting at, this program together, and we walk through it together. We can ask each other questions. We're curious about the same things.
mhm.
Um, and that's been very helpful. And uh, you know, the alumni calls I absolutely love, because included in your program is the alumni. So when you finish the initial 8 weeks, then you get to see these ladies again, because you really do get attached to them. It's like, I feel like they're my sisters. And that's been wonderful. And there are just tons of adjectives that I could use to describe you, and I don't want to embarrass you, but there are tons. There's a big long list I could use, But the main thing, the most important thing for me was your support and your caring, your giving. It's just been, um, it's been life-changing for me, is all I can say.
Thank you, Pam. Yes, I think that connection that we develop with the other women in the cohort is just so invaluable, and that makes a big difference in our ability to feel understood and feel like you're not alone. And we learn from each other, right? I help guide our group, but I'm equally learning from all of you, and you guys are as well. And so I know too, you know, what we do in Beyond Migraine, like you said, it's a little more personalized, and we touch on many areas, not just one thing. And I
Right.
wonder if you feel like that was different compared to some of the other programs you've done. Does Beyond Migraine cover more areas in terms of your well-being, like emotionally, physically? Has that been different for you?
It's not as much, it's just more personal.
Yeah.
They touched on a lot of things. There were lots of things that they told you to do, and I had done most of them already. And but the things that you focus on, I hadn't done as much. So that, was a major, probably the biggest difference for me.
Yeah.
You can go on the
This is,
internet and learn all of this stuff that I had learned in this other program, and they help you apply it, but yours was just different. Like I said, I can't say anything more than more personal. You gave us so much of you. Like I know you more than I expected. It's just
that personalization that we don't get with many, whether it's doctors or anyone else, practitioners. And that does make a big difference, that we're not all just following the same plan, that we can adjust. That's what I really try to do in Beyond Migraine, is find that in a unique pain recipe for each person. Like, what are the things that really affect you and your pain and your migraine, and let's try to hone in on those. And it's different for everybody. Some people need to exercise more, some people need to exercise less. It varies. And so as you went through the program, were there any unexpected shifts that happened, that you experienced, that you weren't expecting?
Yes, the very first thing that happened, I was slowly going through the program, and maybe a few weeks into it, I was minding my own business, not doing anything, sitting on the sofa, and I got this nasty dizzy spell. And whereas before I would freak out, and but through your breathing techniques and talking myself down, I got through it, and like, oh wow, what just happened here? I didn't have that panic mode, so I'm more calm. That was another thing, because I'm not the most calm, and I watched your video about being a type A personality, and I never ever thought that was me, but I learned from you that I was. So I got through that, and working through that. And I guess the biggest shift is I'm happier now. I hadn't felt joy in such a long time, and it had been over 3 years that I've been chronic, and I had lost my joy, my happiness, and I felt defeated. Like I'll never be happy again. But I found my happiness again, and it's nice, and my playfulness and fun. I have fun now.
Yes. Oh, that's so valuable. And with that, it seems like pain has diminished over time. I remember one day in our call, you said your pain was at a 1 and hadn't been like that for years. And maybe even times where you're like kind of forgot about your headache.
Yeah, I remember that day quite well. You a lot of times will ask us, what's our pain level? We hold our finger up, and I was sitting there thinking, oh, do I have a headache? And I had to look for it, that, oh yeah, it's there, but it's a 1. And it's like, wow, I didn't know that was ever going to happen again.
Mhm.
So that was incredible. I do remember that day. Extremely,
Yeah.
it was nice to be able to say a one, because I've seen the some of the other ladies say zero, and I'm thinking I'll never be a zero. I'm still looking for the zero, but I have lots of ones, and I'll take it.
Yeah. So you feel like Bob said, there's just more good days now.
Yes, yes, definitely. You know, I had a couple of bad days where I felt like somebody was stabbing me in the knife over the weekend with a knife, but it was probably weather or who knows what. We never know what, or we don't usually know what. But yeah, that went away, and I'm
Yeah. Yeah. And it sounds like even the bad days are not quite as agonizing or, ruining like your mood as much as maybe they did before.
right. When they get bad, luckily they don't last as long, but I can work through it and
Yeah.
breathe through it, do my yoga, do yoga nidra. Love that. That's the best invention ever. And whoever came up with that many, many moons ago, that I love yoga nidra.
Yeah. And you've been very consistent with practicing yoga, even practicing with Bob. Is that something you've been enjoying through this process?
Yes, my husband and I are longtime exercisers. We enjoy exercises, and I got to the point where I really couldn't exercise. It just made me feel worse. I would, try to work through it, push through it, and I'm back to doing mostly what I can do with your baby steps rule, and I've had to learn that, and so it's nice. He's enjoying yoga as well, so it's something we can do together, and it's been nice. I bought him a little eye pillow, and
Oh, sweet.
he's loving that, because I had him try mine, months ago, and he said, "Wow, this is really nice." So he has his own eye pillow now, so it's nice.
That's wonderful that
He
you
doesn't
get
have
to
headaches.
enjoy it.
He just likes the relaxing part of it.
Yeah, that's great. And as you've gone through the program, you're still attending our yoga classes, our alumni calls.
Mhm.
Um, do you have a sense of, what maybe made the biggest impact in not only your migraine, but just your mood, your emotional health?
Well, probably stress. That's the number one thing, because when you're in pain, it's normally normal to tense up and overthink it, and what's going to happen, what am I going to go through. So the stress part of it, and something I haven't thought about in a while, is my sleep. My very first conversation with you months ago was, you said, I said sleep was a big issue for me, and I had tried all the things, the big lot, the dark room, no devices, don't eat before going to bed, blah blah blah, that big long list. I've done all of them, and they didn't work. So because I've been in menopause for 25 years, I thought, that's what it is. It's not going to, sleep will never get better. It will never return to me. And you said, you're so sweet, Adrian. You said to me, well, some people have found that their sleep will improve with this program. And I thought, nah, mine's a skeptical me. Nah, that's not going to happen. But my sleep has improved, and I haven't done anything else. And a few years ago, I tried melatonin, all that kind of stuff. I did it all. Nothing worked. And this program helped me.
That's great. That's a new bonus that I didn't know. So yeah, that's what starts to happen is all these things start to improve: migraine, emotional health, sleep, exercising more, and it creates this virtuous cycle. And I'm really thrilled that you are feeling, better overall, and that even today you mentioned, you're worrying less, and this
Yes.
makes an impact in so many aspects of our lives. I mean, we can take a medication for migraine and it kind of can work on that one that one pain, but the beauty of what we do in this program is there's just benefits in so many areas of your life, physically, mentally, emotionally. And also to just point out that Pam has been managing daily chronic migraine, really without any medication this whole time. And so to have more tools like mind-body approaches, whether it's yoga or breathing or pain reprocessing, this really makes an impact when some of your options are maybe more limited than some.
Yeah, definitely. It's been life-changing for me. And I took one medication and that didn't work out so well. So I didn't want to try another one. And the natural is what I want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, Pam, if someone's watching and thinking about Beyond Migraine, wondering if it's the right thing for them, what would you say?
Uh, um, other than give the program a chance, you can use the cliche, life is short, and the older you get, the shorter it gets, because the days just fly by as you get older. It really is true. And you don't need to spend one more minute feeling miserable. It's going to take time to feel better. But you will. It will work. Just give it time, give it a chance. It's worth it. It's worth it.
All right. Well, thank
Do
you
it.
so much, Pam. It's been a pleasure working with you and hearing your story, hearing how it's affected you, your marriage. All these things start to improve when you are feeling better. So
Yes.
thank you for joining me. And if you are watching and curious about learning more about this multi-layered comprehensive support that we offer in Beyond Migraine to help you stop suffering from constant migraine attacks in 8 weeks, reach out. You can book a complimentary insight call with me. This is where I learn more about your migraine history and share where I think I might be able to help you in our program. You can go to www.beyondmigraine.yoga/guarantee, because I actually do guarantee that you will experience a 50% reduction in your migraine symptoms in 8 weeks, or I will work for free with you until you feel better. So thank you again, Pam, and thank you all for watching.
Thank you.